One of the most often spoken phrases of Jesus, if not the most spoken, is "be not afraid, have no fear," or something similar to that. I think 44 times, according to research that I read in the Gospels, where Jesus tells someone, "do not be afraid." Or when people have shown their fear, he says the opposite, "Oh, you of little faith, why were you afraid?" So what is fear all about? Fear is the worry, the concern that danger is lurking, and of course we don't want to go there. I think all of us have been afraid at times. I remember as a child, I was afraid of the water. And my mom also was afraid of water, and so she missed out a lot of swimming adventures and jumping in the ocean. And she wanted to make sure that I didn't grow up being afraid of water. So we went to a place back then called Twin Lakes. I think now it's called Lorenzi Park or maybe something else. And it had a great big public swimming pool. And my parents took me there. They didn't throw me in the pool, but they let me down. And I was holding for dear life onto the side. I think I weighed 90 pounds and was just shivering. And they said, "You can't get out until you let go." So I let go and I sunk immediately. So I learned to swim underwater right away. In fact, I'm better swimming underwater than I think on top of water. So I conquered that fear. There are thousands of lessons in history of people who could have been afraid, and had they allowed their fear to overcome them, great things would not have happened. Think of little David, the shepherd boy, and he was told that there's a giant out to attack us named Goliath. David wasn't afraid. He went and killed the giant. Had that not happened, David would not have been proclaimed a hero. He would not have been the king of Israel, uniting all the 12 tribes into a united kingdom. Think of our founding fathers and mothers. Compared to the British Army, they were under-equipped, they were understaffed, they were under-trained, and yet these 13 colonies defeated. And that's why we're going to celebrate Independence Day next weekend. They were not afraid of a power mightier than themselves. Joan of Arc, a young girl in the military populated only by males, was not afraid of what people would say or even of what she had to do. Because of her bravery, she won independence for the people of France. So fear is a horrible thing because it can paralyze us to do things that we can do. And that's what Jesus said to the synagogue official, Jairus. He'd just gotten the report, "Your daughter has died." And so the meaning was, Jesus, go on, do it. Do whatever else you're going to do today. Don't go to his house. It's too late. Of course, he was afraid to go home and see the corpse of his daughter. But Jesus said, "Don't be afraid. Just have faith." And that's the lesson we need to hear today from the gospel. Do not be afraid, just have faith. Now, we've been through a pandemic, and it was frightful for most of us. First of all, will we catch COVID? Now, I know some people here did have COVID. Some of it a mild case of it, and some of it quite severe. And hopefully your faith and the support of your family and the expertise of the medical profession made you healthy again. We continued here at the Parish of Holy Spirit. We did not allow COVID to stop activity here. Oh yes, there were protocols, there were limits on how many people could come inside the church, but the staff that I have here, I think is the most creative and wonderful and hardworking staff of any parish I could know of. They immediately went to work with their creativity, with their energy, and they provided so many wonderful programs. Fear did not close down Holy Spirit Catholic Church. We trusted in God. We trusted that we had the ability, the know-how, the time, the energy to work through this crisis, and we've worked through it very, very well. So whatever your fears are, turn to God. Trust in God. Perhaps you've heard the phrase that if you're needing something, pray to God as if everything depended upon God, and work at it as if everything depended on you, and that partnership will create great results, maybe even little miracles. Pray to God as if everything depended upon God, and work at it as if everything depended upon you. Great things can happen. And the second lesson from today's beautiful gospel is the importance of prayer. Two types of prayer. One was the father of the little girl that was dying. He prayed for his daughter. And so certainly we need to pray for other people in our lives. And sometimes people come up to me before Mass, after Mass, they see me somewhere, say, could you pray for my mother, pray for my child, whatever. And I try to say, of course I will, but I try to say, but you have to pray with me. We're going to do this together. I don't have a hotline to heaven. God doesn't listen to my prayers any better than yours. But together, maybe something good can happen. Or two or three are gathered together. If both of us are praying, that maximizes the effect of prayer, if you will. So do pray for others. There's been studies that when people who are in the hospital are prayed for, they seem to heal faster and heal more completely than those who are not the subject of prayer, even if they didn't know people were praying for them. That was an article in Time magazine a couple of years ago. The effect of prayer. And the second thing about prayer is pray for yourself. That's not being selfish. That's what the woman did who had hemorrhage for 12 years. She took it into her own hands, literally. She went up to Jesus and said, I just touched his cloak. So she had great faith, but she was just talking about herself. That's okay. Don't feel that's selfish. Don't feel, well, I shouldn't pray for me. I can pray for other people, but that's selfish to pray for me. No, Jesus said, ask and you will receive. Seek and you will find. Knock and the door will be open for you. So powerful lessons from today's gospel reading. Do not be afraid. Just have faith and be amazed as were the child's father and mother and all the people in that room. Be utterly astounded at what might happen when you just have faith. And pray always. Pray for others. Pray for yourself. God listens.